What's up, guys? Welcome to the Toy Vox. It's been a while. Surprise. I'm back. We got some breaking news, man. This is monumental news as far as I'm concerned. It's been a while. I know that I missed reveals, a week ago. There was some new Black Templar shown, Sword Brethren, another Ultramarine as well. I'm going to get to that. Not in this video. It's going to be its own video. This reveal here deserves a video all on its own. We got 4 Necrons. It's been a lot of people waiting, begging for Necrons, and here we are, man. Teased a couple months back, just with that little Necron logo, and a couple of videos ago when I showed the 2022-2023 projection list. And we're here, man. We made it. We got Necrons. We got 4. I'm not going to sit here and continue chatting. We're going to get right into it. So the first figure is the Necron's Death Mark. And Joy Toy, they know what they're doing, man. Their marketing team is on it. They're not going to show you a picture of just one of these guys. They know that you're here to army build. You're going to sell them out quick, which I'm sure is going to happen. So get ready for that pre-order to pop up. But they got a picture of 2. We're just going to go ahead and obviously focus on 1. This is the promotional shot. Let's go ahead and look at the detailed frontal display. So here's the detailed frontal display. And you'll see numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is the head. The head looks gorgeous. 2, the body, that chest. All that new detail, the new body mold. This looks great. The giant rifle. 4 is just on his knee. Why? I have no idea. Just pointing out the really nice sculpt work. Here is our detailed front and back shot. Which again, you can see that spine. Man, that's just glorious, man. The paint apps on this are perfect. The figure really pops between that black, green, and copper coloring. But let's jump into it. Here is that figure up front. And just looking at it head to toe, this thing is awesome. I am going to jump right into a critique. And I'm sorry, but I want to be honest. I'm looking at those elbow joints. Let me actually go to this picture. The back of the picture, you can see on his right arm, that's just going to be a pin that goes into that bicep. Now, I haven't had any issues with Joy Toy joints, whether it was their military figures, their zombie figures, the Warhammer figures. I've had no issues with joints. With that being said, and we know how small these are 1/18 scale for anyone that doesn't know that. They come in about 4 inches, give or take. That's a very small joint. If you're moving your figure around a lot, you've got some potential for some stress cracks going on in that peg to the point to where eventually it just shears right off of the joint. So be careful with that. Take your time. When you get your figures in, I don't know, some people have a lot of different methods. You could do the hot water dip. You can grab a blow dryer and blow some hot air on there for a little bit just to soften that plastic. It might not be a bad call to do on this figure. Particularly the elbows, just to kind of loosen that space up. That way none of the joints freeze. I haven't seen any issues. Some companies like NECA, 4 Horsemen Studios, where they get those hand-painted items in, sometimes that paint gets into those joints and it basically dries in the joints to where an articulation point is almost unmovable. Again, I have not seen these issues at all on the Warhammer figures. And I would hate for this to be the figure where it starts, but it never hurts to just go through, inspect your joints, hit it with the blow dryer, dip it in some warm water for a bit just to soften everything up. That way nothing breaks. But that's my rant. Back to the figure. So again, back of the figure, this looks really, really cool. I'm loving the sculpt work. Again, the paint job is amazing. Here's a picture of our figure, squatted down, rifle up, ready to take a shot. And my mind's racing on all the posable options. I mean, especially you guys out there that already plan on buying. And I'm sure there's people right now that are like, okay, do I have space for 10? Do I have space for 20? Those people are out there. So again, get ready for that pre-order. This is going to be one to jump on. I know I said it about the Tau, but I'm always thinking back to that Victrix guard, where everyone knew they were going to want at least 2. This is going to be another one of those examples where hopefully Joy Toy overproduces this one, but it's a possibility they don't. So get your orders in. I'm not pushing here. I'm not brown nosing for sales. I'm just saying I want everybody out there to be able to get one, and these are going to be hot. But Joy Toy clearly designed this figure to where it can balance. There's a photograph that I'll pull up later on that further proves that point. But the balance is great. This figure's not toppling over. He's got a nice wide flat foot so he can hold that weight. This figure is great. And here's our loadout. It's very simple. We got 4 hands in total. We got the rifle. Very basic. With that in mind, I'm hoping that these figures are somewhat cheaper. Maybe the $35 to $40 range. Fingers crossed on that. Totally unique sculpt from head to toe. Weapon included. Nothing here is reuse, which is great. I'm happy, Joy Toy goes out of their way to make sure that everything that they release is unique. I know you're sitting there saying, well, come on, man, the Ultramarines are all repaints, and you're absolutely right. But those repaints and sales, that money gets pushed off to projects like this, which, the fan base and the consumers, we win every time. And here's the next figure, the Necron's Immortal with Gauss Blaster. And again, Joy Toy knows, man, you're not buying just one. And they're absolutely right. This thing is awesome. So he looks very imposing, very menacing. I will say I kind of wish they could figure something out with his eyes. It looks a little bit more anime than it does imposing, but that's just a nitpick. Here's that frontal detail display with that giant blaster. Man, that thing is great. We got some cables going back and forth in the gun. We're going to figure out where those plug into, if they do it all on the figure. I haven't really inspected these pictures. We're looking at them together at the same time. Got a really nice knife at the end of that blaster, which is really cool. Here is the front and back detail display, where again, there's my answer. That hose plugs right into the bottom of his ass, which is fantastic. Be careful with those cables. I know, was it the aggressor? Somebody's going to correct me in the comments, and please do. Some of these cables can be a little fragile sometimes, so just be careful. Don't twist them, because you will make that plastic crack. That is a softer rubber material. It's nice and pliable, but again, you want to take care of your figures, so don't swing that gun around in the air. Man, this guy is awesome. So Joy Toy is going to get their fair use out of this body, which again, most of them are sharing the same body, which is totally fine. That's understandable. We're going to get a bunch of different characters out of it. I'm happy with that. I'm not bitching at all. So you can see he's got a really good grip on that gun with both hands, which is great. Let's go ahead and look at the first image of him just standing here, looking fantastic again. He's got a couple pistons in his neck, which is great. I'm kind of interested to see if those are actually all different pistons that line up to a ball joint. Either way, I'm excited to see if they move or not, which would be great. Man, this guy's great. Let's go to that next photo. Here's the back of him again. Nothing different than the frontal detail displays, but you can see a closer image of those cable workings where they plug into the gun in the back of him. Here's a really nice action pose. Take notes. Now, granted, he's on 2 feet, kind of 1 foot on the toes, but one is flat. Look at the balance. I know you're going to sit here and say, well, dude, come on, look at the gun. The knife's holding him up. Wait till we get here a couple more pictures. You're going to see Joy Toy's design team did a damn good job to make sure that they were doing something that's well balanced, which is very important. When it comes to these thinner figures, I like to point fingers at Storm Collectibles, who made the skeletons from Golden Axe. Very, very lightweight figures, but perfectly balanced, and that is almost an understatement. There's a lot of pictures, videos out there that you can find that shows those figures in the most bizarre poses, and they hold up. They balance on 1 foot no matter what you do with them. I'm hoping that Joy Toy was able to replicate that with this figure here. But nonetheless, he looks great. He's got an awesome range of motion. You can kind of see that head again tilted to the right with those pistons in there, which I'm still going to assume all lead up to a ball joint. I'd like to be proven wrong, though. Joy Toy can do pistons. We've seen it on a lot of their larger mechs, so we know that they can do pistons. At this scale, it's probably wishful thinking. So here again is his loadout, which you see that. You see his giant blaster does come unplugged from the figure, which is a good note to take. Because if you get sick of that in your display, you can just unplug it, and he could just be a fallen soldier if you wanted to. Or for your customizers out there that maybe Deathmark sold out and you wanted one of those figures, you can go ahead and snag him. Now granted, he's got a different head, but who cares? It's an option. For you customizers, it's an option. It's the same body mold, different head. If one sold out and you really needed this body for a project, bam, you can grab this one and you're good to go. So our next figure is the Immortal with the Tesla carbine. Again, same figure, same body base. This one has the same head sculpt. We've got a different blaster. And yes, Joy Toy is showing you more than one because they want your money, and we're damn well going to give it to them. Here's that frontal detail display. 1 is the head, 2 is that torso, 3 is that blaster, and 4 on this random ass leg again, which all looks fantastic. just staring at this thing, and oh man, I can't wait. Just a side note, these will be coming out after Chinese New Year, so be in a rush to buy them. I say get them, don't wait. But at the same time, you know, there's a couple different retailers now, which is great, so you should have time to get them. But for those of you that rush out and think, hey, you know, the past few releases has literally been pre-order, and a couple weeks, if that later, it's in my hand, don't expect that with this one. You know, it's totally unique mold, which granted some of the other ones were as well. They're already in hand. But here's our front and back display shot, which again, you can see that hose fits right into his back. He's holding that blaster with both arms. Fantastic figure. Here's that close-up of him. Just in awe, man. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy. Here's that back shot closer up where you can see it plugged right in again. Nothing here to point out that I haven't before. Now, here's the image that I was talking about. Just wait. Patience paid off. He's balancing on one foot. Joy Toy paid attention, man. They did their homework. They're not selling you bullshit. This figure is perfectly balanced. This is something we need. If you were thinking like, great, you know, I'm going to get a couple of these. I'm going to put them in my shelf. I'm going to bump my shelf and they're all going to fall over like dominoes. Joy Toy has you covered. And you're sitting here thinking, well, okay, so the foot goes up and down, but does it have any swivel? Wait till the next few photos for our last figure. There is swivel in these feet. You're totally covered here. There's plenty of rotation, plenty of movement. So again, perfectly balanced figure. It's what we need. You don't have to worry about them falling over in your shelf. They're going to look amazing no matter how you display them, and you're not limited. Clearly here, you're going to be able to set them up however you want to, and that's a damn good thing. Here's his loadout. Same thing. There's the blaster. He's got 2 sets of hands, which is great. The other hands kind of closed palms. The other ones are going to hold his gun, which is awesome. And that brings us to the last one, man, the Dynasty Overlord. And this guy is sick. I mean, just look at him right here in this promo shot. There's so much going on. There's so much to look at. Let's get into it. So here's that front detailed display. 1 is the head. 2 is that chest with those dangling ornaments. 3 is the hand. 4 is that awesome blade on his staff. Oh, there's so much going on. But in this picture, perfect example. Look at his right foot. It's got some swivel going on in there. So again, you're taken care of. Here's that front and back shot. So the first thing you're going to notice is, yeah, there's a lot of hoses. And it's going to limit some articulation. It's not going to be that much. And you're sitting here thinking, okay, well, I got a staff. It's connected to his torso. You know, I guess I'm stuck having that. Not true. And I'll call that out when we get to his loadout image. But don't worry about it. It does come off. That actually will detach from his back. So as far as the staff with the hose, you can take it off if you want to. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Now the hose connecting to his right arm, you're stuck with that one. It's got some length to it. So you'll be fine. I mean, you're not going to sit there and be winding your figure's arm in circles. That's not happening. But the limited range here is not going to be an issue. I mean, you can use your imagination. He's going to be able to stretch that arm in front of him. It'll be able to go above his head as long as that shoulder pauldron doesn't limit anything. But you're going to be fine. Your posing options are not going to be limited with this guy. You're going to have some fun. So here's a really cool action pose. He's holding that staff above his head, which again, like I said, you're not going to have many issues here. But interesting thing to note, if you look into his armpit, we've got a nice big ball socket. So this guy is going to have a range of motion, which we need, we want. I'm hoping to get some waist articulation. I'm hoping that section there spins, or at least rocks back and forth. Now, I saw a few people in Discord asking this question as well on Twitter. I'm just going to call them the chains that are hanging down from his chest, those sigils. Those are not articulated, so they are just going to hang there. It would have been cool if there was a wire in there, but at the same time, man, those wires break down. So as far as I know, that's not articulated. Don't take my word for the gospel right now, because there could be something that comes out in a few weeks where we find out there is a wire in there, and if there is, great, I'll take it, but if not, it's not that big of a deal. So here's another pose of him just kind of walking around, being all creepy. He's got his weight bearing on that staff, which looks great. This is a badass figure. I'm happy for all you Necron fans. I'm super happy. I will be buying these. Let's go ahead and look at... So here's another close-up of his back, which again, you can see where that staff hose goes right into his spine, which again, detaches. You ain't got nothing to worry about there. And here's his loadout. So like I was saying earlier, that staff hose comes off, plugs into the staff itself, which is really cool. It'll give you a few more options to tell some stories in your display on how that hose got there, why it's detached, or even not included at all if you want. But that is it. That is 4 Necron figures, and really it's more than 4. You've got an Overlord, one and done with him, but then there are 3 army builders that you can just go nuts on. You can own as many as you want. Go and buy them all. Make us all upset and miss out while you have everything. Why not? A shelf is going to look good whether you have one of each, one altogether, or an army of 10. I'm excited. I miss coming on here. I miss you guys. We're going to keep this rolling. I am going to go back and drop a video on the Black Templar Sword Brethren that I missed out on, as well as that single Ultramarine figure. And hopefully there's somebody out there that didn't know that existed and they can get excited about it. For anybody that knows the news is there, hey man, I'm sorry, but tune on in for my opinion. I see a lot of you guys in the comments look forward to it, and I appreciate that dearly. Join the Discord. We are over 1,400 members. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary in January, and I've been dropping hints and little teases here and there. I am working on a promo video to show what we're giving away. And a hint that I'm going to drop right now exclusively on this YouTube video, and I'm not going to mention this shit in the Discord. So when people start talking about it, they're going to be like, oh, well, where'd you hear that? Right here in this YouTube video. There's going to be a giveaway for every week in January. And if you're looking at your calendar right now, you're going to be like, oh, well, that's 4 weeks. That's not bad. So we got 4 weeks in January. So there's going to be 4 giveaways, one every week. That's your hint. That's your little takeaway. Hopefully you made it this far in the video. If you're not in the Discord, come find it. Find me on Twitter at JoyToyWarhammer. Find me on TikTok at JoyToyWarhammer. The link is in my Twitter bio. It'll take you straight to the Discord. Come and join the conversation. Come and hang out. Show off your collection. Maybe you don't have any of these figures at all, and you're watching these videos and you're like, man, I'm starting to get that itch. I would really like to know more about these figures. Discord's perfect. There's tons of collectors in there. We've got representatives from Locker Toys. We've got representatives from Cool Toys Club. We've got some Joy Toy reps in there as well. So come on in, have fun, learn more about the line, or show off what you got on your shelf. With that being said, please go to Cool Toys Club at www.cooltoysclub.com for all your needs. Use code YWOBB. You're going to save a little bit off on your purchase. So head on over there. And that's it, guys. Have a good one.